Is an Israeli government spokesman on the front lines of the information war. He spoke with us about how this moment in Israel's history is revealing people's allegiances and understanding of morality. Take a look. Avi Hyman, you're a spokesman for the government of Israel. First, tell us, what is the reaction to all the international pressure, in particular for a ceasefire on Israel right now?
Firstly, thank you very much for having me on, Chris. It's a pleasure to be with you. There is talk of a ceasefire, but let's make it clear. No one would ask America to declare a ceasefire on straight after 9/11. We've just seen the worst terror attack since 9/11, the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. And we are plowing forward with our mission, Chris, which is to dismantle Hamas, dismantle their military operation, dismantle their government, so that never again will they be allowed to perpetrate the types of atrocities that they have on our nation. Plowing through our borders, killing children in front of their parents, parents in front of their children, beheading babies, opening fire on babies' cribs. This is a type of barbarity that the world hasn't seen, maybe ever, but definitely for a very, very long time. So now's not the time for ceasefire. Now, what is also being discussed, Chris, is these humanitarian pauses. We need to make a differentiation between the two. We have already done humanitarian pauses, whether it's for 3 hours, for 4 hours, to get civilians out of the line of fire, to evacuate places, because our fight is with Hamas, not the people of Gaza. Our mission is to free Gaza from Hamas, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the IDF is really one of the few armies in the world, if any, that is providing this kind of service. I know last night they provided fuel for the hospital. I don't think that ever got there. Talk to us about what's going to happen after a presumed military victory over Hamas. Who do you expect will be taking over the Gaza Strip?
Well, I'm not a prophet, Chris, but what I can tell you is that we know what Gaza's not going to look like the day after Hamas. The day after Hamas, Gaza will be fully demilitarized. It'll be fully de-radicalized. And we're looking forward to the future for a leadership that understands those parameters. The Prime Minister has already ruled out the Palestinian Authority for that position, because as we know, the Palestinian Authority is still actively operating their pay-for-slay, where they give money. The more Jews you kill, the more money you get from the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority is still pushing educational agenda to raise their children to hate Jews for generations. So we know it won't be the Palestinian Authority, and we know it won't be Hamas. As far as security control over the Gaza Strip, we also know that history has shown that that can only be run by the IDF, by the Israeli Defense Forces. So full security control to us, and we'll have to see what the next day looks like. It's a little bit like asking me, about the Marshall Plan before D-Day. So we're not quite there yet. We're going to plow through for victory, victory, victory.
Yeah, and how would your reaction to the massive rallies in New York, sometimes London in particular, that are pro-Hamas?
So, Chris, you just nailed it on the head. These are pro-Hamas protests, rallies. We're asking at this time for people to have some moral clarity, clear moral clarity. This conflict is black and white. It's as black and white as the ISIS flags that we found on multiple terrorists on the 7th of October. If people want to march down the street and protest whatever they want, that's fine. But the minute they start saying things like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, what they're actually saying is they're calling for policide, the total destruction of a state, the Jewish state, the one and only Jewish state, and they're calling for genocide, the eradication of the Jews in Israel. But I'll go one further than that, Chris. What they're actually saying is that they support Hamas, and Hamas's charter is very, very clear. First, they will come to destroy the Jewish state, and then they will come for Jews everywhere. So if people understand the chants that they're saying, and the flags that they're waving, then, freedom of speech, all for it. But I'm not sure that everybody does understand that. And let's make it clear, Hamas has said, their deputy head just said a few days ago, that they will do October 7th again, and again, until Israel is fully destroyed. So now's the time to pick a side. You're either with us or against us. It's light against darkness. It's evil against good.
Yeah. Final question, Avi. Even the Prime Minister's office issued a global warning for Jewish people around the world. I know on November 14th, there's going to be a massive rally in D.C. on behalf of the Jewish people in Israel. Talk to us about what an impact this is having on the Jewish people around the world.
So, Chris, firstly, I want to speak directly to your viewers. I want to speak to the evangelical world as a whole and say thank you. Say thank you for your support. Thank you for defending us online, for writing to your lawmakers. Thank you for your prayers and everything that you do for us. Obviously, at a time like now, we need people to get out to the streets as well and say, we stand with Israel, the one and only democracy, true democracy in the Middle East. We stand with democracy, with progress, against this barbarism, against this gruesome type of terror that we're seeing from Hamas. So I say, now is the time to be counted. You were born for a time just like now. And now is the time to get out to the streets and wave that Israeli flag and wave that American flag. United we stand. Well,
Avi Hyman, spokesman for the government of Israel, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Chris.